We are getting the stream up. We're trying to see the stream is in excellent condition, so YouTube tells me. So we should be ready to go live. Welcome guys back to another episode of Box Mining here, where we take a look at what's happening in the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets in general. We're going to take a look at fundamental technical analysis, everything today on today's live stream. And guys, you probably noticed I'm streaming from my new location. I am super excited to stream and just use the space. Sorry for the little delay getting the stream started. It's just a lot to set up and stuff. So big shout out to chat. Thank you guys patiently for waiting. Thank you, Willie P. Thank you, Bernard Macarius. Thank you, Rodney Petit, for waiting. And Angela Wang, Bernard Macarius, and Dank Life as well, guys. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you smash the likes whilst you're here. It really does help out the channel. And of course, we're going to have a discussion at the end. So anything you want to talk about, live chat is here for you. Now, yeah, I'm very, very excited to show you my new space. I'm still setting it up. There's still a lot of things lacking. I mean, this wall here is barren. My seat here, I still have a stepladder as a stool right now. That is my seat. That is what I'm using. There's still a lot of reverb here, but you know what? I'm loving this space because I get to just chill out and set this up. So I'm pretty excited, and I hope you guys can enjoy this new location as well. So, anyways, let's take a quick glance of what the hell is happening with the market. And yesterday there was actually quite a lot. Let me figure out how to change this. All right. And boom. All right. So past 24 hours has been rather eventful. So for the past 8 hours, people were almost freaking out last night. So just before I was heading off to bed, Bitcoin started dipping. It started moving down, and that was scary for a lot of people. So we have Bitcoin here. We're at the edge. Okay. So we're at 9,353. And we're kind of at the edge here. So you can see the channel that I drew earlier from this kind of wedge channel that was appearing. So we have lower highs and higher lows. That was the pattern that we're seeing. And the bottom line here, this reflects kind of the support that we've been seeing in this space. And yesterday we just touched it. So just last night, we just touched that support line. So at 9,100, and then we bounced straight back up. We decided, you know what, guys? Nope. The bears are not going to have any of it. Not a cup of tea right now. And that's pretty awesome. So that was the excitement we saw last night. So Bitcoin finally moved. I mean, for the longest period of time this week, it was just stuck there. It was literally glued within this channel, mini channel that appeared, which was only around $100. So it was a very boring time for Bitcoin. That was the issue. It was a very boring time. I saw a lot of trading channels and like, oh, we're bored. Oh my God. It was so boring on the Bitcoin scene. But obviously on the altcoin scene, it was blowing up because Bitcoin rallied so hard, especially during the halving, and a lot of people gained profits. It's kind of logical and expected to have a mini altcoin season, which is what we have been seeing for the past week as well. So whilst Bitcoin itself wasn't too exciting, even right now, I mean, a movement of 5% isn't too crazy. But if you just rank everything, I really miss my stream deck, by the way. I'm just switching between this is so painful. But I mean, Kyber has been dominant in a lot of conversations. In fact, yesterday I had a call with one of my friends, Isaac, and the first thing he said was like, oh, I missed out on Kyber. I mean, I had a call with them. I was so close to them and I missed out. And, there's like a lot of regret in the space because the altcoins are showing, I mean, this is like 60% movement. I mean, we got VeChain up 33%. It's almost hitting that 1 cent mark, which is insane. I mean, if this is old prices, this would be $1, right? Before the split. And I think a lot of altcoins, what happens is like, this is what I'm doing now is extremely dangerous because you kind of have a lot of survivor bias because you look at the top 7 day and you're like, oh my God, all these things are blowing up. But that's, of course, all the winners, right? So it's a very dangerous viewpoint to look at. But at the same time, it does reflect what is happening. There are quite a substantial amount, especially in the last 7 days, of altcoins going up. And it does seem to be asymmetrical. And I think this was a key highlight of a lot of altcoins and why a lot of people chose to go into the space. So the asymmetry here is that the coins that are going up, they're going up by 60%, 70, like this one's 60, 50, 30. And if going down, the max is theta, and that was right after a pump as well. So going down 20%. So you can see the asymmetry here, where if it does go down, it's less, but if it goes up, it can go up phenomenal amounts, which is why a lot of people want and readily jump into the altcoin space, even though knowing the risks, like knowing full well there's a lot of risk associated with that. So anyways, that's kind of my 2 cents. I'm not financial advice. Nothing on this channel is financial advice, of course, but that was the mini altcoin season, and it is still the mini altcoin season that we've been seeing. And one of the things I do want to talk about as well is kind of the 2 viewpoints, right, with altcoins. So one of the viewpoints, and a lot of people adopt this, is the short, very, very short-term trading. So a lot of people, they just go up for the rally and then kind of disappear afterwards, and it dissipates. And this is a very dangerous mentality. I'm beginning to understand more of it. It's something that I don't usually like to go to, but I understand why some people love it. And we've seen quite some crazy results from that. I mean, there was a case when someone was really hyped up about Matic, and Matic went up and then went straight down like 80% in a day, right? I mean, these are the insane risks that some people take. And the other side, for me, I typically, when I'm going into altcoin, typically speaking, I go for the long run. But that's also got its downsides too. And one of the stories here, I mean, a lot of people were talking about VeChain. I mean, am I still into it? Yeah, of course. But the issue was that with VeChain, it was brutal. During the winter, during the crazy months where it did dip, let's just look at the past 100. Actually, let's look at the yearly view, right? Yeah. That happened, and that was brutal. I mean, to be holding on, to be exposed to VeChain during that time, it feels horrific. It's, even though I did all the research. So, with me, I do a lot of research into everything, but a lot of times it's so really hard to emotionally fight off that price bias that we see. A lot of times during these dumps, there's a lot of people who are motivated to actually send out negative news. VeChain is a scam. It's over. It's done. Exit scam. And there were even videos. I think one of them was pretty historic. The Chico crypto video. He was like, "Oh, box mining exposed. VeChain's a scam. All this." And it does get to you. I mean, it's false, and that it's not even information. He's just making stuff up about me. But at the same time, you're just wondering, oh my God, that's some people might believe it. And, ironically, what kept me going was the idea of a reverse indicator. So what happens is that there are some people, so I pointed out, so Chico right there, that would be, for me, one of the strongest reverse indicators. So if he's very hyped up about something, usually doing the opposite, not being hyped or selling or shorting that, will be a good option for me, at least. And if he's saying this is garbage, this is trash, maybe it's actually worth looking into. And I hate to do this, but there are people like that in this crypto space. I'd love to hear your chat about it. Like, who's your reverse indicator? There's Warren Buffett might be one of them. I mean, Peter Schiff might be one of them. I mean, those are probably famous examples. When he's taking a dump out of Bitcoin and saying it's going to go to zero, I actually feel pretty bullish right now. Like, he's becoming someone who I love to see this Bitcoin, because he's ironically super wrong, right? So I love to hear what you guys say. Chico is a clown. But that's the issue, right? I mean, I guess at that point, there's 2 sides. I mean, a lot of people like the drama, but for me, I just use reverse indicators to kind of understand, to kind of can't speak properly today, but using reverse indicators as a way to judge where the market is and where the sentiment is going, for me, has become extremely powerful. And there has been a lot of times where people have been dissing YouTubers, etc., but I think they all provide some form of valuable information, whether it is what not to do in the space, and whether, what insights can be collected in space. But anyways, I don't want to rant too long about that. But honestly, during that time, it was brutal. It felt bad, especially looking at assets go down in value, and you're like, oh my God, this is almost worthless now. And then now, of course, obviously getting attention, it being good. I mean, finally, okay, it's for me, I would say it's kind of a relief, right? I feel like it's something that finally people are understanding and taking the time to look at, which is extremely important. And we'll be doing some more updates. So just in terms of updates on videos and everything. So I've got this new space set up here. I'm trying to familiarize myself with using it. But one thing that I definitely want to do with this space is to kind of resume the series talking about different cryptocurrency projects. And we're taking different votes from the community for what coin to cover, what should we explore in depth. So one of the coins that we previously covered was definitely Ethereum 2.0. So that video went out really well to just kind of tell you guys a little bit about what's going to happen with the staking, with the passive income, everything over there. Let me just figure out where that is. Ethereum 2.0. This video. So it's like 37K views. It's doing really well. So thanks guys for that. And let me just hide chat. How do I chat here? Oh man, this is just so. I miss my two screens. This is what I miss right now. So I'm just trying to figure out how a good way to interact with chat right now. So, let's see. Box mining, your channel. Please let me interact with chat. So still a few hiccups on this new space. Not being able to have chat up there is one of them. But yeah, I mean, everything is a scam apart from coins I own. LOL. Let's see, okay. So yeah, so that was the Ether video, and just for a quick update. So 2 videos are coming, definitely a VeChain update and a Cardano update. So 2 updates coming up very soon, and Elron as well is looking at the staking mechanism. So been looking at the staking coin recently as well. So I'm actually pretty excited recently for a lot of crypto, and I saw a lot of videos about people talking about altcoins now. I guess it's that season again, right? So I think here I'm more or less focusing on updates on coins that already kind of have been deployed in progress, and that's kind of the objective, just kind of understand what it is in the long term. And we'll also, dig a little bit deeper, and that's kind of the current sentiment. So we got a question from Nee Patriots. Do you believe BTC will crash with the stock market? So I definitely feel there is some form of correlation there. So I think there's 2 viewpoints to take it. In the extreme short term, I think we kind of detached from the market right now, but I don't believe that detachment is going to last. Because what happened during the coronavirus scare was that Bitcoin suddenly dropped along with the stock market. It also tanked. I mean, Bitcoin tanked even worse than the stock market. So it actually showed that there's some people who still view Bitcoin as a tech product rather than as a currency, as an independent store of value, as digital gold. There are investors who view this as just a tech product. It's technology, blockchain, right? That's a fad word that's being thrown around. So I do believe, right, if the stock market does fall, that it will take Bitcoin with it to a certain degree. And then what happens is that there will be a recovery phase yet again where people start to understand, okay, and that's exactly what happened with the stock market crash too. We had this immediate recovery phase for Bitcoin where people are starting to understand, oh, actually, you know what? Bitcoin's not just a tech product. It's also a store of value. There's only 21 million of these things. I mean, nothing more is being printed, and when the money printer goes brr, 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 brr. So what I think there will be correlation, and then I'm expecting also stronger recovery for Bitcoin in that case. What about ADA? So JPAR asked, what about ADA? Yep, Cardano is being made, so the video has been started. I've asked quite a few questions about what to be presented in the video. A lot of people want to talk about the staking with ADA, and that's definitely on the list as well. We got Ham003 says, much love from Louisiana. We're ready to surf wave 2. Now we have Zero saying, if BTC consolidates, will alts rise? And I think this is a big question going right now. So everyone knows it's altcoin season. I think we've seen quite a lot of top altcoin hodl predictions just jumping on that wagon. Right now becomes, so the way I take it with altcoins is typically I hodl onto them. So I've been hodling onto VeChain for a substantial amount of time. And during the hype wave, that's when I start looking, okay, look, what's my position going to be at, right? Where is my goal? And I think this is the higher end strategy, higher level strategy that you want to be actually consistently winning in this space. So for me, I don't usually buy during the hype. That's usually the case. So if something goes up 60%, it's actually really hard to chase that hype for me personally, right? Not financial advice. I have to be very careful here with all that stuff. But for me personally, I don't chase that hype. So typically speaking, I look at something that's worth long-term, that's actually genuinely using something that's awesome. And then I take up a position. There are some times, and there are situations when I do take up a short, very, very short-term trade that's viable if I know that there could be potentially some crazy amount of hype that other people don't know. But that's another story for another time. So we got comparison of facts, XRP price in 2020. So confession here, and you guys probably know this, XRP is a coin that I did not ever acquire in my portfolio. And the reason being is I typically don't feel like there's a need for a kind of banker's token in the XRP protocol. So I've always separated these two, the protocol, the technology itself. I think it's going to be great that it's way faster than Swift. But why would banks want to use another, shitcoin? That's going to be much harder. And I mean, a lot of people argue with me about this. I've taken a position where I don't feel like it's very valuable, at least in my direction. And I do know now I'm a bit more open. I'll be saying that, there are people who like it, that's great. We got Ronnie Patise's garbage XRP. I'm not going to go into war anywhere more. I think it's not necessary to go there. I mean, that's just the honest truth about it. And I know a lot of people who are into XRP, and I know a lot of people who are XRP fans, and I respect them for it. We got Dank Life. Doge is a great FOMO indicator. Yeah, meme coins. I never really got to meme coins either. Those are two things. So a few things I never really got into. Meme coins being one of them, and the other one being any fork of a coin. So whether it's Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, Ethereum Classic, any fork off the original coin. I just felt like I'm not a very fork person. I feel like there's always a potential sell pressure from the people who hold the original coin that isn't worth it. We got Ronnie Petit says Zilliqa and Theta. So I think a lot of people are really into that. So typically speaking, okay, here's my take on everything, right? So Bitcoin being the father of everything. So let's move back to where everything's going right now. And it's just kind of the narration on the market, right? So why everything matters with Bitcoin is if Bitcoin holds steady, I feel like the altcoin market is just still going to blossom and bloom. There's just a lot of nutrients for it to bloom right now. If you think of it as a plant, I mean, Bitcoin just moved up. That's provided a lot of fertility, nutrients into the soil. And if Bitcoin, as long as Bitcoin stays here, and if people are getting bored of Bitcoin not moving up and down, obviously speculators will jump onto altcoins, which is kind of what's happening right now. Now, this can go on so long as Bitcoin remains boring. So if Bitcoin remains boring, this is going to be a super fertile ground. And I still think it has legs for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Not a very long period of time, but that's usually how it goes. And this is the risk you take, right? So I feel like it still has legs. What we're seeing on the Bitcoin front is that we know that the range for Bitcoin is tightening to a point where there is going to be an apex. So moving close to this point, moving close to here, let me just organize that a little bit better. So at around here, as you can see, these two lines are going to start to meet. it's going to force Bitcoin to make a decision. Decide where you're going to go, buddy. I mean, are you going to go up? Are you going to explore new territory in 10, 12, 13, 14K? Are you going to go there? Or are you going to go straight down? And this is where I feel like this is where Bitcoin is going to impact the altcoin price. If it goes down, if Bitcoin goes down, I strongly feel that altcoins will be taken down with Bitcoin. It's logical. I mean, there's so much price correlation with Bitcoin right now. Most altcoin traders still think in terms of Satoshis. Even though, personally for me, I don't believe that a lot of these projects have anything to do with the original goal of Bitcoin. Not dissing it. I mean, they're actually expanding far beyond it, and it's very different. And I kind of had the mentality that they should be completely detached from Bitcoin because they're no longer just about the Bitcoin goal, right? But that's not the case. That's right now in 2012, what am I thinking? Right now in 2020, people still have that correlation with Bitcoin in mind. So Bitcoin goes down, definitely going to take down altcoins with it. Now, the conditions, if Bitcoin goes up, if it rallies strongly, so something to 14K, I can see altcoins strongly being diminished. I can see the market just getting kind of bowing down, bending the knee. If Bitcoin goes 11, 12K, I still think altcoins can rally with Bitcoin as well. Reason being is that last few rallies, when Bitcoin did rally, altcoins also rallied up with Bitcoin. It's only when Bitcoin makes these phenomenal moves, when people have serious FOMO, where they start pooling the funds, getting out of altcoins, then dumping that and going straight back onto the Bitcoin wagon. So it really depends on how much Bitcoin moves. And this is where the uncertainty comes in. So that's my current take on what is going to potentially happen in this space. So scenario one, Bitcoin massive rally, altcoins, they're going to just bend the knee. So you'll be lucky to stay at the same value, maybe dip 10, 20%, depending on how strong that Bitcoin push can be. If Bitcoin just slightly moves up 10, 20% into just a new territory, exploring that, altcoins very likely will follow that. My 2 cents. And then down, if Bitcoin moves down, I think altcoins will also move down in similar proportions. And it will also spell an end to the alt season as well. Just as people start losing money, they're not as willing to take risks anymore. I think generally speaking, people are very emotional animals. I think that's one core consideration to consider. Even though we're in the age of bots, a lot of bots, if you talk to a lot of bot makers, their bots actually mimic human emotion. They try to predict human emotion and then go for it. If there wasn't human emotion, the market would just be one steady flat line. Oh, Bitcoin's valuable. Let's just move up. No action, just very predictably moving up. But that's not the case. And that's just life. We got Ronnie Petit says Tether is stable, of course. For now at least. We got Phil Max says BTC, no, Bittrex and whale manipulation. But let's be honest here. We've seen this argument before as well. And there is definitely a lot of manipulation in Bitcoin. In fact, we've seen the effects of this too. I mean, just right over here, you can see that massive spike, the Bart Simpson pattern. And that's a very, very clear sign that there is manipulation going on. I mean, that's literally within one single candle and one single candle going up and going down. And this type of manipulation would actually destroy a lot of traders. So traders who are taking a short position here, they think Bitcoin's going to down. If Bitcoin goes up, that will destroy their trade. That will obliterate their trade. That will maybe even obliterate their account, depending on how much leverage they're using. And then same here. If you're still taking a long position here, and maybe you took a new long position, and this would just obliterate you too. So we saw a lot of, during this time, what we saw was there was a lot of action happening. And also, ironically, there was actually very low liquidity on a lot of exchanges right now. So, I mean, if you want to look at evidence for manipulation, we just saw that on June the 2nd. So that's less than 10 days ago. But that being said, of course, Bitcoin, I would say, just a more blatant, more obvious version of what's happening on the stock market. So on the stock market, there's a lot of manipulation going on, especially with the big banks' investment cycles. And you kind of learn that it's all about relations when it comes to trading in the finance space. So being in Hong Kong, I talked to a lot of traders here, especially in the finance space. And one of the reasons why they choose not to trade or not to fight a particular bank, be it Goldman Sachs or what particular position they're taking, is because these banks can manipulate like crazy. So investment banks or hedge funds, particular funds, they become your kind of house almost when it comes there. So I would say manipulation happens everywhere. Just in Bitcoin, it's a little bit more obvious. And that actually makes us a little bit more kind of aware, I would say, of that, and kind of not into that denial where, oh, there's regulators who can protect us, because we kind of all know what kind of a joke that is. We got USA has a limited exchange for cryptos. That kind of sucks. Yeah, says Rodney Petit. I mean, there's not just limitations, but there's also a lot of limitations about talking about crypto. So, I mean, even just recently, just YouTube censorship on cryptocurrency discussion on this channel, even, I mean, that's been pretty toxic, to be honest. Like consistently, I'm to a point where I'm just like, I'm so used to it by now. I'm so desensitized by YouTube demonetizing, banning, limiting our channel. It's just like, oh my God, it's like, I'm just rolling my eyes like, oh my God, it's happening again, isn't it? So, you know, that's where you guys really matter. I had a phenomenal amount of support during that time. We created the membership for this channel during that time as well to support this channel. And also for members coming up, I'm also offering some very exclusive content just to thank everyone who has offered to support, especially when censorship did happen. And for that, I'm making a special set of courses that really teach you some really crazy hacks in crypto, like getting the cheapest transfer fees, like how to min-max that Bitcoin transaction fee. And also more importantly, recently, how to make your Ethereum transactions more private. So something that I've been very paranoid about recently is what happens if I send an item to someone, or be it a Ethereum collectible, a token, they can start tracking my wallet. They can see exactly what's going on and what I'm doing with it. That becomes a rather big problem. And one of the ways, of course, is using mixers. And that's really bad. Mixers are something you should almost never use, because there's a risk, of course, of mixing with funds that are from the black market. And that's just really toxic. So I'll teach you a little bit about how to get a little bit more privacy on these coins. And that's coming up on the members channel as well. As just a big thank you to all the members and supporters of this channel. We got Mark Carter says the virus audience might have left. So we did on this channel talk a lot about coronavirus. I provided, and I think I'm really happy, like from a conscience point of view, I provided the information that was necessary for people to kind of make preparations. So just to cut through that mainstream media BS, providing real information, that was there. That was one phase. And I think I'm happy that I did that. It's just like from a moral standpoint, I felt like that was something that I needed to do, especially because in Hong Kong, we had the experience with SARS. So SARS 2012, we were there. So anyway, so right now that's happening. We got Zero says, so CoinJoin is bad. Yes. So CoinJoin and other coins, so what I've been finding out recently is that if certain mixers for different cryptocurrencies, if you use them to try to gain anonymity for your coins, can't pronounce it at all. But for those mixers, sometimes if you do get caught mixing with black market coins or coins that are illegal, they can be tagged, and if you send those coins to an exchange, your account can be frozen without warning. So this is something that I've been learning a lot about, how various companies track certain coins, especially there's something like Chainalysis. They can do some very deep forensics about what happened to a particular coin. So if those coins that you used in mixers, CoinJoin, etc., enter a particular exchange, the exchange has the right to freeze that account. So that's actually really bad. And they can do it without warning and just like your whole entire account. So that's something you should never touch, especially if you have a lot of crypto in there. Yeah. Okay. So what's a good way to stay anonymous? That's going to come in the members channel. Members only for now. But yeah, so I'm hyping up that stuff. There's some good ways. There's some legal ways as well. But obviously they do involve some form of KYC, any form of, but this strategy is mostly for people who just kind of want to hide, stay anonymous. I mean, at the end of the day, I use crypto a lot actually, and I start sending crypto to people, and I don't want them tracking my entire wallet. So I end up creating like 60 different wallets, and it's just a pain to manage. So anyways, long story short, we got Dank Life as Monero. There's also a lot of people don't notice, but Zcoin. I've been getting to Zcoin recently, and I'll talk a little bit about why. Not just because I want to talk about shitcoins or, just bear with me. I'm very affectionate with the word of the use shitcoin. It's a kind of a fun thing for me. But anyways, Shad says anonymous with KYC. So anonymous with KYC basically means that people can't track publicly what you're doing, but the exchange can know your information. So that's the only legal way to kind of gain anonymity is to have a KYC account. But also sometimes what happens is that, exchanges use the same address, which, anyways, it gets messy. I'll talk about it in more detail after I get my thoughts together, and that will be on a video for the members only channel. Let's see. JPAR says Monero might get you flagged. Monero, like privacy coins are a touchy subject and depending on regulation. So for example, in Japan, you can't have any privacy coins at all. That's just regulation. But in other countries, depending on which regional jurisdiction you're in, you can use it. And honestly, guys, I think a lot of people also use VPN when it comes to keeping anonymous, and that's maybe a consideration as well. So anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And by the way, remember to hit up those likes. It really does help the channel. And I'm sharing a lot of this information just for you guys. So really appreciate it if you can just hit those like button. I know I hate doing this too. I mean, every time I say this, I hate doing this. I hate saying, oh, smash up the likes. It's so boring. But anyways, we're going to cover a little bit of news. So let's see. This is kind of funny. I'd really like to thank Mike for sending me this. So this was definitely not a mistake. But anyways, the title says someone just made a 2.6 million mistake on Ethereum. So they're sending $130 over, but they actually paid $2.6 million in fees. Holy crap. Holy crap. So let's get one thing clear. I mean, if you have $2.6 million worth of ETH, you will not make mistakes like this. Unless you're extremely dumb or extremely lucky to have infinite amount of ETH, you will know how to use it properly. And most wallets, almost all the wallets, will never allow you to have that high of $2.6 million of fees. This is intentional. Absolutely. I would say absolutely this is intentional. It was designed either to tip the miners or to launder some Ethereum. The way that works is these fees become a reward for miners. So that's what miners get. Miners not only get new coins, but they get all the transaction fees that are being added to the block. So theoretically speaking, if your hash rate, or if you have a temporary amount of hash rate that is strong enough, you can have a high probability of gaining these fees. And I think that's likely what happened. So what can be the case is that this person, they might have had some dirty Ethereum that was maybe involved in particular events. Let's say like dirty Ethereum, right? So if they have dirty Ethereum, they can just use that as a fee, and they'll go to the mining pool. And if they own that mining pool, they'll get the reward. So it's a complicated way of sending themselves a transaction. But that's very likely what I think is actually the case. But anyways, it made the news. It did go to one of the pools. I actually know what pool it went. So it went to Spark Pool. I don't know. We'll have this follow up. Spark Pool might do something with it. They're investigating it. They're investigating why that is. So we'll have to see. Knee Patriot says, I'm sure it's pretty damn easy to launder money using crypto. Yes and no. So with crypto, there's two sides. Crypto transactions are extremely transparent once you know who the address belongs to. So the moment that happens, you can track everything that can happen with that account. So even if they try to mix it, law enforcement can still can find what they mixed it with, unless you're using Monero. But Bitcoin, Ethereum, much harder to launder, and they can still eventually track down and close particular accounts. So it's not as easy as you might think. And I think the myth is that Bitcoin is anonymous and it's totally for money laundering. It's not always the case. Chainalysis has been very, very strong in recent years, and their tools finding particular clusters of funds and tagging them, that has been one of the. It's making Bitcoin a lot cleaner, which is good. Sunny Ramen says, I think VeChain will hit $1 in the near future. What do you think? I think. I love VeChain. I love what they're doing. I always refrain from making these crazy price predictions. I mean, you're talking about another 100x, right? And I'm a realistic guy. I want to see developments. I want to see applications. I want to see real life use case. And yeah, eventually, if real life use case does come and this becomes pivotal to supply chain management, to tracking, to authenticity, that could be possible. But streaming that now, I think it's not helpful, I would say. I really think core understanding of what something is will get people in the right mindset at the very least. Chinese Chechner says, remember when VeChain was $10? So VeChain had a chain split, right? So it split off into 1 to 100 ratio. But anyways, complicated story, long story short. Yeah, so it's 1 to 100. That's why it's 100 times less valuable right now. That's why I can't calculate ROI like that as well. Okay, looking back in comments. Oh yeah, PlayStation 5 is being released. I mean, that's the hottest news today. I saw the ad for it. I'm pretty excited for it. One thing about the PlayStation 5 I found is that it looked completely different from the renders that we saw, right? PS5. It looks sleek. It looks cool. The animation, the graphics demo I saw it looks pretty fantastic, and the controller actually looks really good. So if you're a gamer, I don't know, I'm pretty excited for PlayStation 5. I mean, the controller looks awesome. The machine looks a little bit clunky. Okay, to be honest, I'll be honest here. It looks a little bit clunky. What was it? What was all the fake PS5 images? Let me see one. The one that was really ugly. Thank God it's not this one. We saw this one earlier before. It was really ugly. I didn't really like that. I didn't like the direction where it was going with that. But this one, it's a real machine. Hardcore, real. I like real stuff. Let's see. What else is there as well? So last thing as well, relating to security, you guys probably saw my video yesterday on the hardware wallet Zero. And quite a few guys were also talking about the Zero on this channel as well. So this is a new hardware wallet. And when I first saw it, I'm like, hardware wallet, I mean, it's going to be rough, especially getting that initial validation process. I mean, how do I know I can trust this, right? So I did the interview, and I was actually surprisingly very, very impressed with how they arranged everything on this wallet. So I'll be honest, I had a lot of offers to do wallets like the Cool Wallet, a lot of these weird hardware devices that were popping up during the bull run, but I avoided that because they weren't legit. But what these guys are doing is that they're making this device completely offline, and that matters a lot. So there's actually no physical connection with this device and the outside world. The way it works is it works with QR code. So you scan a QR code on your phone. That's the only way it communicates. So no Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi, no USB, just simple QR code. And I think that's very powerful. And the other thing that they have is they have the best chip available. So EAL7, basically the highest security chip there is, formally verified chip stuck inside with some of the custom implementations to even make sure that there's no backdoors that can affect this chip. I mean, it's just crazy what they're doing. Anyways, the long interview and the whole video is released yesterday. So I'll show you that, guys, now. Engrave. This one is released. So guys, checked out that video. I think it's some huge leap for security, like huge. And there's like, sorry, cough. So yeah, so that's directly next level. It's really next level for security. And I think a lot of people, I saw on the comments for that video, so people are saying, you know what, it's quite expensive. The unit itself right now, if you want to buy so I bought myself. So personally, I purchased this one. So I purchased let me switch to view. This is so annoying to switch views. But anyways, so I purchased a combo pack. It's got the metal storage. This is my first time getting a metal storage. I'm pretty excited for that because previously all my backups are written on paper, and just in case in the event of a fire, what happens to that? Well, that's the solution. So that's number one. And second of all, so I purchased this combo, and it's quite expensive. It's 288 euros. And a lot of people were like, oh my God, this is expensive. It's only for whales, etc. But let me tell you this. So, I told you guys this earlier that I had a hack on one of my accounts this year, and it's completely my fault. I got so freaked out. Luckily, it's just isolated to one account with the key that I mismanaged, and someone managed to find the key. And during the hack process, it was scary as hell because what happened was that there was $2,000 worth of Ethereum on it. Now it's probably worth 4,000, but anyways. And what happened was that I initially, when I saw the account, I thought, I don't remember transferring money out, but maybe I did. You know, I scanned and checked all my exchanges to see if I received that fund. Nope. And it did turn out that the address I sent to was something I didn't recognize. And I was like, crap, am I being hacked? And the worst part was that there were funds that were actually stuck in IDEX, which is a decentralized exchange, and it can only be withdrawn to that address. So the moment I make that withdrawal, the hacker would immediately send it out. And there was this battle, this war between me and the hacker, just trying to send funds away from that account. It was a nightmare situation, and like every time we fought, it would be over something like $80, and I was just like bleeding $80 away, and it was insane. It was a nightmare. I'll give you a little bit more details about that soon. There's still some things I haven't finished. I ended up actually just locking the account and, you know, calling it a day, at least for now, and figuring out if there's a better solution. And I did get security experts to look at it, but it was a nightmare. It was just due to bad management, to be honest. But yeah, really, really horrific. We got Cow Level Crypto says, oh no, Michael should have worn his mask. I just had a dry cough just now. It's from talking so much. I'm just get some water here. Drink water, guys. Stay hydrated. It's legit. So Savage Dragon says, lots of hacks going around. Heard about the Ledger, Google extension, and Discord app hacks in the past few weeks. So, yep, someone managed to... And the hack was actually really badly... it was really well executed. It was a hack that... they sent out a fake Ledger app, and people installed it. And this just included a keylogger. So I started figuring out the victim's emails and exchange passwords. And with that, they actually managed to withdraw funds from the exchange. So even though he had a 2FA set up on the exchange itself, which is typically the recommended exchange procedure, what happened was that hacker even managed, just through through mismanagement of backup keys. So somehow they managed to find the guy copied down his 2FA key, which you're not supposed to keep on a computer, but apparently he did. And the hacker managed to withdraw all his funds from that account. So it does happen. And when it does happen, you don't just lose hundreds, you lose thousands, if not millions. And I've had people email me saying they lost millions of dollars, and they want to keep quiet about it because they don't want to look like an idiot. Like if you're in the investment space and you lost like $1 million worth of clients' funds or funds money, it looks pretty idiotic, right? But they always tell me these stories, and I'm like, oh my God, security guys. And that's the key. So the reason why he lost funds is because he kept it on exchange and the account wasn't protected properly, and he had backups on his physical device. So that's why you should never ever leave your keys or your backup, your passwords on your actual device. And speaking about that as well, so I was actually looking at vulnerabilities. I mean, we all heard about it, Spectre and Meltdown, but so these are like hacks that can appear on almost every device. Hackers can abuse this. Holy crap. I mean, there's so many vulnerabilities on modern systems, and this is why we go to hardware wallets. But beside the point as well, so something that I was kind of showing you guys is my new setup here, right? So just totally off in this story, but I was wondering if I should upgrade this computer. So this computer is actually quite an old one. It's a 7-year-old computer that I'm just resurrecting for now to be placed in the office. And it uses a Core i7, but an old Core i7, so 3770K. You know, back in the day it was hot, but now pretty shit. So anyways, I was wondering, okay, should I upgrade or should I not? And I think one of the biggest reasons why I want to upgrade right now is because of Spectre and Meltdown, because this processor has vulnerabilities and has performance degradations from these vulnerabilities. And I actually think, you know what? Okay, come on, spending $400 or $500 on a new PC, not that expensive comparing to getting crypto loss, especially right now. Yeah, just being smart about it is important. So anyways, my 2 cents, guys. Security, very, very, very important. Rick asks a really good question right now. He asks, let's see, Rick, hey, box mining, have you attended any virtual conferences? How were they compared to in person? So typically in-person conferences, you always never go to the talks. That's the general rule of conferences. It's like only the noobs go to the talks, right? All the pros, they just like, they go out and hang out with people and they meet people and they find deals. That's usually what happens in a cryptocurrency conference, and you can't do that online. That being said, I think there are 2 main conferences here that do have talks that might be worth listening to, and I've thrown down my application to speak at them. So there's Unitize and there's also the ABS Summit. So both of them offer free tickets. So, you know, it's a point where I feel like, why not, right? Just why not go attend, see what we can do. You'll definitely not get the experience, the full conference experience, which is just like hanging out with people. And like sometimes, a lot of times when you really do hang out with someone, especially after a few drinks, they'll really tell you what they think about a particular project, which is really important. You know, on the face of it, they might be a big supporter, but on the back of it, you know, after a few drinks, you're like, okay, when did you dump? You know, these questions come up and, oh, they dumped at the all-time high or whatnot. You know, like you find out the truth about what's going on. So you're never going to get that in a virtual conference, but I think you're going to get the kind of general gist of what people are doing. And sometimes, like I was mentioning earlier, sometimes you're looking for reverse indicators too. So I'll put that there. So it's still worth it. I think it's like, if it's free, all right, I wouldn't pay money for it, to be honest. I am speaking at Unitize. So that's already been approved. I'm going to talk about DCEP at Unitize and also going to be at ABS Summit as well. So those are 2 conferences that are coming up, and I'll be throwing my hat in there as well. So not to shit too much. I hope the conference organizers don't kill me for saying this. Kyle wants says, don't buy a PC, it's inflated. I know right now it's the worst time to buy a PC. Holy crap, man. There's so much innovation, but at the same time, the next generation of everything's coming out. And I was hating myself when I bought my new graphics card. I bought a 270 Super, and I was like, oh my God, 370 is coming out, the next generation. If I can just hold on for 3 months. Nah, I can't. So, you know. Yeah. Okay, so guys, we got How Level Crypto says, what? No likes? Let's get those likes up, guys. Let's go get those likes up. Sonar Balaji says 3080 coming. 3090. Have you guys heard about that new graphics card? Oh my god, it looks super hot. They promising like 60% boost in performance, and yeah, Ampere, man. That's when I'm gonna jump back into mining. That's the time. That's a rally point. If you need a sign, that is it. You know, new generation coming out, you're more efficient, you're faster than everyone else. That's when you churn in those profits. So that's when I'll be jumping back onto the mining bandwagon. Until then, you know, stuff's happening. Sun Tzu says, what is your opinion on Neo? So I have a love and hate relationship with it. So long story, China coins, there was a lot of interest into it. A lot of people were hyping it up at the start. I went to one of the Neo conferences. I thought maybe this is all just hype. I went to one of the Neo conferences, and you know what? People were developing there. The issue with Neo was that after the conference, the support I felt like wasn't there. So a lot of projects kind of moved away from Neo and moved to somewhere else. So it kind of entered that phase where it's like, you know, ironically, that was when Chico jumped in, right? So when Chico was super Neo fanboy, I was like, okay, maybe it's a good time to move out. And, you know, that worked out really well. So they couldn't maintain the hype. They couldn't keep it up. So that's when the kind of community, also the developer community also left. And also, it was getting cannibalized by ontology as well. So my 2 cents there, I was like, okay, that was a little bit weird, especially with Da Hongfei pushing out ontology gas, Neo. So Neo kind of took a back end to that. That being said, of course, I don't know. I don't think it's dead per se right now. Like, I don't know. I'm waiting for Chico to hate it, and then maybe that'll be great. Oh, my 2 cents, a bad joke. But honestly, guys, yeah, I'll have to look back into it. There were projects that were doing on it, and I jumped away, and I want to see if they're jumping back in and if they're being used. One of the biggest criticisms I thought with Neo, and a lot of developers told me, was it was still quite hard to get formal verification of code on Neo projects. And because the community wasn't as strong as before, launching tokens wasn't as strong. I mean, right now, Ethereum is pretty much still the king of token launches, right? Some people call it the king of shitcoins. No matter how you call it, there is that community there. So, yeah, still a battle. Steve Hunt says, I sense the soul in Michael. Man, I think it's just like, Chinese Chestnut says, Chico hates it now. Box mining, are you going all in? Man, if he starts making shit videos about it, maybe. I think so. Why not, right? At least it's worth it paying attention to. XOGX Aesop says, how do you feel about Dash? Love-hate relationship as well. I think it's actually quite cheap to... Not cheap, okay? I was looking at a Dash master node, so I was looking at all nodes. So recently I've been looking at a lot of passive income, right? So all nodes is one of those places where you can host various nodes and have different pricing for different nodes. So let's see, you can just host like for cheap. So I got Zcoin nodes up there. Let's see what to stake. Man, this interface is very clean once you log in, but okay, this is what you want. Okay, so with Dash right now, the required amount for a master node is around 72K right now. So it's still quite steep. I was looking at this back in the day, in 2017. I mean, it was almost unattainable. It was almost reaching the millions of dollars, right? Now it's possible, but it's only a 6.2% annual ROI. So long term, I think I have this love and hate relationship with Dash. I think in terms of what they did, in terms of what their initial thought is going in, is amazing. I mean, being able to have everything all in one. So privacy, fast transactions, scalability all in one. I was just like, guys, why even talking about Bitcoin Cash? I mean, Dash is right there. But of course, with Dash, there's two kind of major drawbacks. One drawback is the founder himself, the Insta-mine event, or whatever you want to call it, the pre-mine, the Insta-mine, whatever that event has kind of tainted Dash's long-term image. So every time a Dash conference comes up, someone's going to ask the question, why did the founder Insta-mine? The other issue I have with the Dash team is the core team itself. So I'm not a very big fan of the current CEO. So Ryan, not a big fan. And a lot of master node owners actually expressed me of that. The reason why is that he's very corporate. Like you talk a lot about corporate stuff, but at the same time, it's a very community coin, right? That being said, I love the community as well in that. Like Joao, they did a great job in Venezuela. The adoption there is crazy. I know a lot of the Dash community members there. They're the nicest people. So I've actually been to the Dash conference, and the Dash conference, my take home from that was that the community is one of the nicest communities possible. Like big, love sending greetings and love to Mark there as well. And they are so good. They're so awesome. But the core team, I think, is always the one that disappoints everyone, especially just up the top. So that's my 2 cents, guys. Love and hate. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. XOG ASOP. And Amanda Johnson, she joined that too. But I think she's not as active anymore. I love the daily decrypt. That's one of the reasons why I got into crypto. So big thank you to her as well. And I really love to see her be more active. I think Heidi jumped into Dash as well. So anyways. How about energy? That's kind of funny. A lot of people are asking about energy recently. Really high ROIs, right? So I was looking into it. So energy, high ROI, easy to get into. $2,000 to get a node up on energy, 40% ROI. I mean, that's insane. So if they can manage to maintain that price, that's pretty good. Liquidity, not so much. So I actually looked into this. The liquidity for energy isn't too high. So on all the exchanges that's listed right now, there's a lot of fake liquidity reports going on. So CoinGecko. So markets. So I actually took a look. Wait, not BTC. Sorry. NRG. All right. Please let me click this. All right, cool. Let's see, going in. Markets. So KuCoin being the biggest one. This is the most realistic volume, so at $51,000. It's not a very high volume being traded on there. So if you actually want to acquire a substantial amount of this, and it's kind of funny, someone actually asked me, how do I acquire 100K worth of energy? You can't, right? There's not much liquidity there without drastically affecting the price. I guess you can contact one of the core team members and ask for OTC trades, but that's kind of the only thing that's holding me back. Otherwise, it could be interesting. I mean, I've even checked out CoinX and Mercatox. I mean, this is kind of insane too. Just off the record, I guess. So I went off CoinX. I actually made an account there. I mean, they're reporting 80K of volume, right? But it was all fake. It was all fake volume. Like literally, if you look at the transactions, it will be transacting at the same price for 3 hours. It's just literally bots trading with themselves. It's not real volume. So it's like, that's one thing you have to be careful of with all these altcoins is like where the real volume and liquidity is. A lot of the information that you're going through, you have to look for that due diligence, right? You have to actually really dive deep and find out, okay, look, are these exchanges really transacting 80K, 70K, or is it just all BS? And I went to CoinX and I was like, nope. Getting the hell out. Black box mining, didn't the DGB founder finally leave? I actually haven't seen that. I need to follow up on that. Digibyte, right? Oh. Chinese Chechener says, very, very honest, I got a huge airdrop of energy and then dump for BDC. Congrats, man. Congrats. I mean, the airdrop days, those were the days. JXC says, box mining thoughts on BAT. So BAT's been having a ridiculous rally recently. I actually managed to benefit from that kind of. So I actually had a stack of BAT. I mean, in fact, even right now, the browser that I use is the Brave browser. I have a Brave browser affiliate link down on the bottom if you want to join. But I'm actually getting a reasonably good income from BAT, actually, surprisingly. I actually got an email recently. So every 3 months or so, I get emails. And you're like, okay, it's like $50. You know, it's okay. I mean, why not? It's better than nothing, right? So I think they're onto something. I think that the adoption is getting much better now. They block ads by default, so that's what I like about BAT. I use a Brave browser. I use their services. The only thing I don't like is some of the ads that appear on BAT. They're very toxic. So I'll talk a little bit. So even with, okay, so it's not here, but sometimes you see all these like crypto savings. So one thing I'll say about savings is that crypto savings is something I don't really believe in. Because you're giving that custody to someone else, right? So I showed you this, all nodes, you basically get to keep the actual currency. You still keep the private key. It's still your keys, your crypto. So you're paying a monthly fee for the service, but at least you get to keep your crypto. And a lot of the services sometimes I see offered on BAT, they're custodial. So that means that they get custody of your funds. And if they go down, which, I've been a victim of Mt. Gox before. I know what it's like to lose Bitcoin on one of these exchanges that do go down. If that happens, it's bad. So I guess I love and hate. I think there's still a lot of promise, but I'm actually a little bit careful about all the ads on BAT right now, in my 2 cents. At box mining, the screens are unreadable, worse than 480. Really? Huh. All right, I'll have to figure that out. Maybe it's something to do with the streams. Maybe let me kind of reset transform, fit the screen. It shouldn't be, but anyways, thanks for the feedback on that. There, I will try to fix that soon. So Knee Patriot says we got some scam ads. So it's to a point where last 2 weeks I actually just turned off the rewards part. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather not see this. I mean, I want to support you guys, but I'd rather not see it. My 2 cents. So Crypto Knight says, what do you do for a living, bro? So I do YouTube full time right now. Well, it's just fun. I mean, to a point where I would say I got really lucky in 2017 being in the crypto space, a little bit before that. So I got fully into crypto around 2016. So prior to that, I was mining, but I made mistakes. And in 2016, I learned things properly, which was great because then I benefited from the boom and I can do whatever the hell I want right now. So pretty much that's it. I don't have to do anything for a living. I can just do nothing for a living. But YouTube is fun. I think this is passion. This has always been my passion project, keeping it my passion project. Chinese Chetner says, there's an ad for Amazon Brave. Is it safe to say Amazon bought Brave bags? I think that's a great partnership, actually. I think, yeah, that's great. Cal Level Crypto says Michael makes billions on YouTube. YouTube income is actually not that great. Trading for me this week was these 2 months, phenomenal. I mean, yeah, just GG. We'll do whatever you want with your life, right? So Knee Patriot 77 says, I wish I had financial freedom. But the thing is, I mean, all right, this is going to sound ridiculously selfish and ridiculously stupid, right? So last year was a year I tried to travel a lot. So you guys saw my Bali vlog. I spent like a month in Bali. I spent a month in Iceland. I spent a month almost in Italy, like half a month in Italy, 1 month in the States. I just traveled the world, did whatever the hell I want, right? Great. But this year, COVID, yeah, not going to happen, right? And the other thing I found with traveling is that if you travel too much, you get a little bit fatigued as well. You actually don't want to travel. Like, you're like, I'm getting so fat right now eating this good food. Yeah, you just don't want to do that anymore. I mean, it sounds ridiculously selfish. I'm also a very frugal traveler, so like just keep that in mind, guys, before you just blame me and stuff. I move my own stuff. I carry my own freaking bags around, and you don't want to carry your bags everywhere. It's just like it's a hassle. But anyways, that's my 2 cents. I mean, you got to find something to do. And I think YouTube, and I thank you guys for this. Box mining, the channel, YouTube has always kept me very centered, which is great. And I think that's why I'm setting up this new studio. I'm pushing this myself harder, and having something that's you can work on is important. Anyways, that's long story short. My 2 cents. Daniel Alexandra says, "What do you think of Lotto Nation?" No comment. Yeah. Gambling's hard. So do you reinvest to have passive income? Yes, absolutely. I've actually looked a lot into passive income coins for the past 4 months or so. And not only did they yield income, but they also grew because of the altcoin season. So that did very well. I'll talk about, some people are talking about, what are your top, passive income coins. I'll talk about the logic, the reasoning behind them, and why I chose particular coins. And that's going to be upcoming in a future video. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, etc. Make sure you're there. What do you think of IOTA? So IOTA had a lot of hype, to be honest. The stuff that they're doing is good. So the ability to have free transactions, I think, is core. Now, obviously, they're competing directly with Lightning. So on the Bitcoin network, you can transfer Bitcoin using secondary scaling solution. It hasn't really picked up, to be honest. Neither Lightning nor IOTA has picked up in terms of adoption, in terms of real use. And one of the primary reasons I feel like is to use Bitcoin on a daily basis is extremely hard with the price volatility. So this is something like maybe like a 5-10 years where the community actually catches up with the technology. So it's very, very early to say. I still pay a lot of attention to Lightning and IOTA, but at the same time, I realize that if you're going for the short term, no one's going to use crypto like on a daily basis everywhere. Okay, this is just the hard fact. It's just hard truth. I tried to buy pizza in the States. I was in Marina del Rey. I was trying to use their BitPay method to buy pizza. It was horrific. Like, after going through that experience, I'm like, no one in their right mind, unless you are bags thick into crypto, would do this at this current point. That being said, of course, there are technologies that's making it easier, but it's not snappy yet. So I'll be honest with you guys, I don't see that happening. And more recently as well, we're in Hong Kong. There was a bar that was very interested in accepting Bitcoin, and we got them to get an ATM over there. So we taught owners about Bitcoin, and they're ready to accept Bitcoin. It's a process. So you know what? Going through that process, I actually really admire what Roger Ver did. As much as people hate him, at least he's getting merchants on board, and it's a long, drawn out process. It's a long war. So, at least respect for that, and at least, that's going to be the case. Box mining, I hear pizza is about 10,000 Bitcoin. Man, I wish I bought that pizza with real money and took the 100,000 Bitcoin. If I was ever that person, that's the best purchase ever. Just imagine that guy, guys. Let's see. There's a rumor going around Chinese military uses Zoom for global mass surveillance, maybe. Who knows? I mean, if you guys want privacy, get Signal. Like Signal, Telegram, Skype, and then Zoom in that order, with Signal being probably the most secure, but not the most reliable in terms of streaming. Telegram, kind of okay. You're hoping to trust the developers there. Skype, Microsoft, everyone hates them, but at least, at least, I don't know. Zoom routed the communications through China before, so I don't know about that. So there you go. What about status? I don't know. I'm not too sure about status. I'll take a look. Anyways, smart guys. And now the new Brave video streaming coming out soon. I'll check that out, dude. There's so much happening. I'm trying to get on. I mean, this is a phase in crypto and in the Bitcoin blockchain space where it's like, where you have to spend like every day, waking day of your life thinking about what's happening. I mean, yeah. What was it? I think it was Charlie Lee, who historically said, back in the day in crypto, you spend one afternoon and you read up everything there is to know about crypto. That's it. And now we're at a point where you have to spend 6 hours every day to look at it. So, times have changed. We've got at ZT, people need to stop using Zoom. So I think one of the primary reasons why people use Zoom is because I can call people in China. So I think I've done one webinar with on DCEP. Who was it with? Forgot his name temporarily. Matthew Graham. And anyways, what is it? Graham. Was it Graham? Anyways, I did it with the Zoom call, and it works well with China. That's the reason why we use Zoom. Because any other communication, if you ever try to Telegram call someone in China, it's impossible. It's impossible to do. The Great Firewall catches that immediately. But for some reason, Zoom works, and that's why people use Zoom. My 2 cents. Anyways, guys, that's kind of Rick says, do you tinker with DeFi? Yes, a lot. Been looking a lot into it, and there's so many good developments happening. Maker DAO, Uniswap. Yeah, just off my top of my head, there's just so much going on. It's insane right now. Not everything's great. I mean, we're still at the phase where we're trying to find out what the best oracle to use, etc., link chain and all that stuff. But so much promise there, and we'll definitely explore that space as well. So guys, I think that's it for today's stream. It's actually been a really long stream. I'm actually doing a stand-up. This is one thing I love about doing here. I have this moving table where I can just like stand and chat with you guys. And this session's been really, really great. So I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Remember to smash up the likes. And if you guys want to check out the Engrave wallet, check it up. And the video is here as well. So I just spammed the video again. And upcoming videos, Cardano, VeChain, make sure you stick around. And if you want to join members, you get access to all this new series of videos, just cryptocurrency hacks, really powerful ways to use crypto. That will be for you. So join the channel. Guys, thank you for all the donations. I know I didn't shout out to all the donations, so I'll give a shout out now. Let me just okay, so we got Tenacious Dragon. He donated $5. Thoughts about open source money. I'll take a look on it. Sorry, I'm just kind of catching up. I have another screen here, but I'm just trying to figure out what's happening. But yeah, big thank you for that. And we also got XFIN XCE thoughts and donation from Rose Productions. Thank you so much, Rose Productions, for donations. Well, all donations, thank you guys very so much. I'm not too sure about that. I'll take a look in the future. I don't want to speak on something that I haven't looked into. But guys, thank you guys so much for coming into this episode. Thank you guys so much for the catch up. Make sure you smash the likes. I also have the next session up. So now you have to painfully watch me use YouTube, figure out where my live streaming is. I'll show you guys what the next session is gonna be. And you guys can just hang on to it. So exit will not exit to end the stream if it goes live. Yes, that's what I want. Okay, guys. Let's see the schedule, manage my schedule. The stream for next session is up already. Let me have that up. Angela's already there. Wait, is that today or tomorrow? What? Wait a minute. Oh my God. So many windows, man. This is when you need multi-monitors. I actually bought a new stand coming up. So this is my one. All right, guys. This one, sending that to this chat box over here. So see that. So this is the one. So this is the video. That's a thumbnail. All right. Alrighty, guys. This is a mess. Okay. This is such a mess. Why does that not show up? This is the video. This is the video. This is the video. All right, there. That's a black screen. This is the video. And then that's my new thumbnail. Comment if you love it or hate it. We got K and TX says, $1 million question. What does Box Mining think about Hex? Don't let your fans down by ducking the question. I've never ducked it. The question is a scam. Plain and simple. I can make Hex like in 3 seconds. I'll teach you guys that too. Coming up, I can literally make one and then hype it and then pretend it's something. Anyways, sorry for the salt. But anyways, that's the video coming up. Okay, let's submit it into live chat. I hope someone has done that already. All right, there we go. Done. Done. So the stream will be on Monday. So right now, the streams that I'm having, they will be up on Friday and Monday my time at 11 a.m. Hong Kong time. And in terms of US time, it'll just be the reverse on the other way around. So the best way for that is if you guys just set the reminder on YouTube. That's the best way, and that's why I'm trying to like always send out the YouTube invites. But I really enjoyed this chill session chatting with you guys. It's been really phenomenal, and I really hope you guys can turn out for the next one. So yeah, the link is there. Just click it, click that, and it will be good. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching, tuning in today, and I'll see you in the next